Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I worked with someone. We'll call him Alex. On the surface, Alex had everything in place. He was smart, motivated. He knew exactly what he should be doing. And yet, nothing changed. He'd start strong, then lose momentum. Set goals, then quietly drift back to old habits. And after a while, he started asking the same question a lot of people ask. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Now, maybe you've asked yourself something similar. Most people have. What made Alex interesting wasn't that he was stuck. It was that he understood so much. He had read the books, watched the videos, tried the routines. And still, the same patterns kept showing up. And one day he said something that stuck with me. He said, I feel like there are two versions of me. One that wants to move forward, and one that keeps pulling me back. And as he said that, he paused, because something about it felt true. And when you start to notice that in yourself, it changes how you see everything. So I asked him a simple question. I said, what if the part of you that's holding you back isn't trying to stop you? And he looked confused. Which makes sense, because most people assume that resistance is the problem. But then I asked him this, what if it's trying to protect you? And you could actually see the shift happen, not instantly, but subtly. Because when you consider that idea, something softens. And he started thinking differently. Not how do I get rid of this, but what is this doing for me? A few days later, he came back with something interesting. He said, I think I figured it out. And I said, go on. He told me that every time he was about to take a big step, he felt this hesitation, this pull to stop, and instead of pushing through it like he normally would, he paused and just listened. And what came up surprised him. A thought, quiet but clear. If you fail, people will see. Now that belief had been there for years, running in the background, unquestioned. And the moment he saw it, really saw it, something started to change. So we didn't try to remove it. We worked with it. I asked him, if that part of you is trying to protect you from failure, what does it actually need? And he sat with that, just like you might be doing right now. And after a moment, he said, it needs to know I'll be okay, even if things don't go perfectly. And that's when the shift really began. Because instead of fighting himself, he started reassuring that part. Not with force, not with pressure, just consistency. And over time, he noticed something. That hesitation didn't disappear overnight, but it got quieter, and then lighter, and then optional, until one day, he took action in a situation where he normally wouldn't have, and only realized it afterward. Now here's why that matters. Because what changed for Alex wasn't his knowledge. It wasn't his strategy. It was his relationship with himself. And as you hear that, you might start noticing your own patterns, not as problems, but as signals. And when you see them that way, you naturally respond differently, without forcing it. If you take one thing from this, let it be this. You're not stuck. You're patterned. And patterns can change. Not overnight, but faster than you think, when you stop fighting yourself and start working with your mind. If this hit home, let me know in the comments. What's one pattern you're ready to break? So as you go through your day, pay attention. Notice the moment where you usually hold back. And instead of reacting the same way, just pause and ask, what is this trying to do for me? And let that question sit, because the answer might come sooner than you expect. And when it does, that's where change begins. If this connected with you, let me know. And if you want more like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.